and welcome to Guidepost. Guidepost is a safe space for us to grow, to realize that we are complete, to accept of being complete, and reconnect with ourselves to face all of the challenges that we have to face in our crazy lives. I am Jorge Luis Sarmiento. I want to share something with you today that has happened to me several times, and I never realized that, or I wasn't ready to put it in a presentation. So we've been talking about being in peace, certainty, love, clarity. We've been talking about feel that essence, that divinity, that guidance, that intuition that is within us, and mostly to live by the feelings. And the feelings, once again, the feelings of joy, grace, dignity, abundance, happiness. So we've been talking about staying on those nice feelings. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are not so much. But something that I realized some time ago, after taking long walks, after meditating, after praying, whatever way you want to pray, after being in silence, or after being in gratitude and appreciation. Those are two such beautiful feelings, being in gratitude and appreciation. Appreciate your doggy, appreciate your table in your house, appreciate the family that you have, appreciate the car that you have, appreciate the legs when you are walking around your house, appreciate all of the things that we have, the relationships that we have. So appreciation and gratitude are two really easy feelings to be at. Like, for example, I am having a hard time at work today, and from the hard day of work, it being that a feeling that is here, and I want to go to a feeling here of joy and grace, maybe I cannot make the jump because the day at work was too stressing. So if I cannot make the jump from stress to joy and gratitude, the easiest steps to go there, jumping on feelings, is appreciation and gratitude. Then once you jump from stress to appreciation and gratitude, it will be easier to go jumping on the different states of feelings and emotions to something that resembles more like joy and gratitude. So I invite you to feel that feeling of gratitude, appreciation, and then eventually you get to grace and joy. So what happens when you begin to travel this emotional scale? And I am going to give it to you with an example. When you begin to be in these higher emotional states, I want to share something that happened to me many years ago. And I'll call this the rainbow story. In the rainbow story, I was at a restaurant. That was many years ago in Cleveland, Ohio. I was at a restaurant having lunch, and of course, I don't have a picture of that restaurant. So I got another picture from the internet, and I am placing it here for you. But basically, what happened was I am sitting, let's say, at the third table from the window. I had been walking that morning, I had been meditating, I had been praying, I was in appreciation, I was in gratitude, And I go to this restaurant close to the office for lunch. And I am sitting at the third table from the window. Through the window, I could see a beautiful, complete rainbow. But it was beautiful. It was just complete. It was not a part of it. It was not a little section. It was a complete, beautiful rainbow. And I was sitting there appreciating it. And I was like, my God, I have a whole great, beautiful rainbow in front of me at lunchtime. So that was just a beautiful moment. But what was interesting, even more interesting, was that in the two other tables, closer to the window, there were other people sitting there. And I remember in the other two tables, the people were not that, how can I say that? There was not complete harmony. And they were not having a big discussion, they were not yelling at each other, nothing like that. But you could see that there was a little disagreement there in both tables closer to the window. So I was surprised to see such a beautiful rainbow, but the people that were in the other two tables closer to the window, they could not see them. They could not see the rainbow. I was like, I am here in the same place, in the same restaurant, in the same room, in the same environment. And I can see, enjoy that beautiful rainbow, and these other two tables could not. And it bothered me. I was wondering, why is that happening? Why, even in the same room, the same environment, the same restaurant, I am enjoying the rainbow and they are not? They are in a different state. They were not in gratitude. They were not in appreciation. They were not in certainty. They were not in joy. They were not in grace. And therefore, they were in a different, I don't know, maybe dimension, just to use a word. So they were in a different emotional state in the same room. So when you are even in the same room, you see different things. And that was interesting because I began to ponder those issues. Well, the rainbow window was not the only time that happened to me. It happened at least another 2 times in different restaurants with more or less the same outcome, where I was the one enjoying the rainbow in the back and the people closer to the window were not. So that I began to ponder, what is it? Something else that happened to me, similarly, the same thing, and I picked this picture from the internet. This is not the case, this is not me, I don't live that far north. I was in similar situations when I go to ski, but it didn't happen in this beautiful scenery that we have there. It looks like it's somewhere up north, I don't know, maybe upstate New York, upstate Michigan, maybe. So I am walking in this path, and I am walking, looking at the beautiful stars. I went for a walk. No fun, nothing. I just went for a walk late at night, close to the house. And there is another person coming back in the opposite direction, coming towards me. And that person is in the phone. And remember, I was in appreciation, I was in gratitude, I was in joy, I was in grace. I was playing with these beautiful feelings. And I remember walking in this path, and a shooting star passed in front of me. And it was just so beautiful, so long. It was just unbelievable to see that beautiful shooting star pass in front of me. The person that was coming towards me could not see it. So eventually we meet in the street and I tell him or her, you didn't see the shooting star. It was such a beautiful, long, slow shooting star that I saw from side to side in the horizon. That person was in the phone, looked at me like, okay, why is this crazy guy talking to me? And I was in awe because I saw a sky that had a beautiful shooting star, and the other person didn't see that. And we were in the same path at the same time. So why, when we are in peace, in grace, in beauty, in joy, in gratitude, in certainty, in all of these beautiful feelings, even in the same spaces, we experience different situations? It seems like we are both walking. No, the other person was walking on the phone, a little bit stressed. I don't know what the conversation was about. But the other person was not in the same emotional state that I was at that time. I am not saying that I live in grace, joy, beauty all the time. I am saying at that beautiful time, it happened that I was in that state. So I could appreciate the shooting star, but the other person could not. So that is why you have two pictures there. What a person sees when they are in grace, joy, beauty, peace, gratitude, and what the other person sees. But it didn't end there. Again, another situation. At that time, I was living in El Paso, Texas. And I was taking my afternoon walk, and same situation than the previous one. I am taking my afternoon walk in the desert, and there is this beautiful, colorful cloud. It was the craziest, colorful cloud that I have seen in my life. Again, I am walking in this direction, and I see the cloud in front of me, and there is another person coming in the opposite direction. When I see the cloud back in the horizon, I make a sign to that person to turn around and look at it. That person sees me but doesn't understand the sign of turn around and look at the cloud. The person is with the phones and talking, and at that instant, that person eventually, when he's getting closer to me, I tell him, hey, turn around. There is a beautiful, colorful cloud up there in the sky. So that person turns around, and the colors are gone by the time that he turned. Of course, the color had been dissipating little by little, but by the time that person turned, the colors were gone. So again, I had been appreciating in that walk. I was in appreciation, I was in gratitude, I was in joy, I was in peace, I was in love, and I got to experience something totally different than the next person, in the same path, in the same place, at the same time. So now it was the third time that it happened to me, and I am beginning to ponder, why do I see rainbows? Why do I see shooting stars? Why do I see colorful clouds? And again, there is another story. I am walking at night, and I knew by reading in the internet that that day there was a blue moon. And the blue moon means that is the moon that is closest to the earth in such and such date, and it happens only twice a year, and it is closer by I don't know how many miles, and you are going to see the moon 20 or 30% larger. So I was aware of that, and I texted a friend because we usually go for a walk and we walk the dogs around the neighborhood at the same time. So I texted a friend and I told him, hey, let's walk at 8:25 because the full moon will be at that time coming out in the horizon when the moon is bigger. As the moon goes up on the sky, when it is at the center, it's not as big. The moon is bigger when it is just coming out. So I texted him. He said, okay. And of course, at 8:20, I was walking outside of the house, and I began doing my path, walking around the block. Well, I got to enjoy that beautiful moon coming out in the horizon. I was just beautiful, unbelievable. To me, it was like 50% larger. I mean, what a big moon. Of course, I don't know anything about astronomy, so I don't know if it was 23.8% larger or 32.2% larger, but for me, it was just beautiful and huge. My friend did not come out for the walk with his dog. Something happened, the kid dropped something and he had to clean something, a phone call, he could not come out. So we were in the same neighborhood, in the same place, moon was coming out at the same time, but he did not get to enjoy that beautiful sky. He eventually went out later, but the moon was a lot taller and therefore a little bit smaller. So that was another instance where I am enjoying this beautiful sight, and there are people around me that are not seeing it. Why I am appreciating this, and the other person is right next to me and is looking at the other direction, not appreciating the same event. It seems like that silly difference is what they call dimensions. That silly difference is what they call perception. That silly difference is what you are experiencing already. I am just translating to you what you are experiencing. People that follows this podcast, Guidepost, people that follows this, we are all learning about using our emotions, our feelings, to change our attitude. So we are going from stress, from anxiety, from depression, using gratitude and appreciation to get into joy and grace. And then that is the sign that you are in the right path. Now, we are the ones that are into this new path. I invite you to do something for your community. We are approaching interesting times. We are approaching times that are needed for us to change, to evolve. But during that time of change, of evolution, interesting things are going to happen. And I invite you to be the one that in your neighborhood, the one that is choosing gratitude and creating community. Because you are the ones that know how to move from stress, depression, anxiety to joy and grace. So I call this presentation the garden signs. garden signs are these signs that they make with wire they put in the garden in the front of the yard of the house for different reasons. When you are selling a house, when there is a party, or when your kid is going to high school, graduating from high school. So I invite you to get these signs made. They are called garden signs. They are usually 18 inches by 24 inches. You can go to any place in your community and order this and place it on your garden, on the front of your house. Because you are the one that is choosing gratitude and creating community. We need to create community to travel what is ahead of us. You can choose a different one. Let's try this one. You are choosing joy, and with joy you create unity. You can only create when the foundation is the feeling. Okay? So you are choosing the feeling of joy. With that feeling of joy, you can create unity. When you are choosing a different feeling, that is a lower feeling, you cannot create something that is better. Okay? So I invite you to use those signs and get them made for your local community. That is the way that we are going to survive what is coming, through unity and through community. What if you choose compassion, if you choose love? By choosing love, you create compassion. Then you are going to make decisions based on compassion. Or this other sign. If I choose certainty, I feel certain, then I create solutions. Solution is not badly spelled. I am trying to tell you, solutions are better than when something comes from the soul. The solutions are better than something that is just, that is not coming from a deeper place. What Einstein said, a problem cannot be solved from the same level that it was created. A problem is solved from a different level, from a higher level of consciousness. That's what we are doing. We are changing our consciousness. When I choose peace, I create synergy. Synergy. Synergy is coincidence of events, coincidence of things happening. So people, the right people comes to us, the right situation comes to us, the right tool comes to us, the right contact comes to us, the right company comes to us. So by choosing peace. So I invite you to make these signs. They are already designed for that dimension, 18 by 24 inches, and place them on the garden. We are not going to get ahead if we are choosing division. We are not going to get ahead if we are choosing separation. We are not going to get ahead if we are choosing something less than unity. So again, let's choose the feeling. Let's choose the feeling of peace, grace, beauty, dignity, joy, gratitude. Let's choose that feeling, and with that feeling, let's create unity in our neighborhood, in our community. Let's create unity. Let's create solutions. We have difficult times coming ahead. It doesn't matter who caused that. It doesn't matter. The important part is the answer. The important part is the attitude. The important part is us. We are the answer, and the answer is within us, in love, in compassion, in dignity, in grace, in gratitude, in peace. So remember, you are the answer. You have it within you. And from that feeling that you have within, from that dignity, from that peace, from that grace, we are going to move ahead. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you for your company. Thank you so much.